I do have a counter argument to that. There is an argument that we evolved monogamous relationships because of the risk of STDs.
Welcome to Motherfunkler, where you can pick up all the necessary groceries you're going to need for the next week.
Beautiful.
I need to go by the grocery store, man.
Let's get funky. I know. Me too. I'm going after this.
I like when all my friends have been, or friends, I guess, but new friends, people have been messaging me now directly about the show.
Mm-hmm. Have you gotten any, like, fuck you or any,
no.
You guys are losers?
I want one of those.
I think it'd be fun when we reach a level where people are like, you guys are terrible.
What are they saying, Trevor?
Nothing worth. It's just nice, kind words.
Good.
I want to stir the shit pot though, and make and get anger out of people.
Anger. Yeah.
I'm Atomic Chili Sauce. I'm the owner of Atomic Barber Company here in Hannibal Square, Winter Park, Florida, and with me, as always, two guys that never fart around their significant others.
True.
Orlando Trivia Nick and Allstate PR. Here, as always, is the Wizard of Ed and super producer. And the intuitive muse.
What's going on, everybody?
My wife.
Your wife.
Hello, wife.
Hey, that's true.
My wife. Yeah, man.
I remember the last podcast we were talking about the technicalities and the formalities and procedures that one had to go through.
You got a little perturbed about our chosen technicalities, right?
I mean, PR's.
You said it was not. It wasn't traditional.
He doesn't recognize it, was my recollection. Am I wrong? Like, you don't recognize the marriage because it doesn't conform to your cultural beliefs.
No, I don't think I had that. I just said that. No. I mean, I'm groovy with that. The what I found very interesting is that in South Africa, when you get married, there isn't the grace period. You know, the where you take the documentation away, and then you go back 3 or 4 or 5 days later, which is what you guys did, which I understand is the norm. In South Africa, you typically would meet in front of your officiating person, who's generally somebody who's a member of like an appointed court official, so like a legal person appointed by the court to be able to witness that or to grant you the marriage certificate. And typically, you either go to court to have that done, or you have your priest, in a religious ceremony, but it's done immediately. There isn't a grace period.
Yeah.
And
Is there still arranged marriages there?
Well, Indian people, it is something that is a dying tradition.
Mm-hmm.
But in South Africa, because we are like one removed from the mother country,
yes,
it's something that really doesn't happen. It's
Indian weddings are pretty fucking insane, right? Aren't they like 3 months long? And there's like there's tons and tons of food and tons of people and tons of outfits.
I feel like people could potentially be married and get divorced during a 3-month period.
Well, interesting. The typical Indian weddings, you're right. They do happen over several days.
Okay.
So it is a massive celebration of family, color, food, all of that. Typically, it's a 3-day wedding. If you have kind of a normal family, the affluent families have it over months. So they have one ceremony and then people go away for a few months. Sounds like a
fucking nightmare.
It does.
But the average person, so the typical South African wedding, Indian wedding would be a 3-day thing. Interestingly, I went to a family wedding in Dublin in Ireland. And I understand that the traditional Irish weddings also happen over 3 days. And it was just,
I feel like that'd be a little different. I feel like it'd be a lot of alcohol at Irish wedding. I mean, 3 months of an Irish wedding sounds like I don't think I'd make it out alive.
Yeah. No, 3 month is not like it's the wedding's happening. Is that they're different functions and people, leave and come back. And
the government has this 3-day thing down, like 3 days in between your marriage license and the wedding, 3 days to buy a gun. It's like 3 days for everything.
Well, they want you to be able to do it on a Friday and not worry about the weekend. I'm guessing, but
I think it's in case you have second thouts for all
that's the reason why
dummies that are out there.
I mean, you just get a prenup and then
so is this
getting married is the same as dating.
Is this every state 3 days, or is
I
it
don't know.
is
I think
it
it's just
Florida is
Florida.
3 days, but
No.
you could have another
There
state?
ain't no fucking wait in Vegas. We
Yeah.
showed up and
Yeah,
I walked in.
Vegas
and
is the
it's done.
exception, but the other states, would you know?
Some states have waiting periods, some don't, and it's typically the more conservative states are going to have longer waiting periods. Like, yeah, it all has to do with religion and God. So,
Right.
that's what it's all about. Because what they're trying to do is trying to deter people from getting married unless they're going to stay together forever. So, which is I think is fucking dumb. If I would have gotten married in my 20s, I'm a completely different human being today than I was when I was 22.
Theoretically, a human being changes psychologically about every 7 years.
Well, your whole body. So what that is that every cell in your body is different today than it was 7 years and 1 day ago.
your body and your mind.
Well, your brain, yes. When you say mind, you're talking about some sort of esoteric fucking definition.
Yeah.
When I say brain, I mean the physical scaffolding of neurons that's in your head.
I believe that a successful marriage is people that successful long term is people that can get together and change with each other about every 7 years. I think I'm crazy enough that I change every 3 years.
You know, the challenge with the
Maybe.
idea that we change every 7 years is very often, and I'd be interested because Nick is married 1 year and 1 month. Trevor is
Congratulations.
married
Yeah,
1
thanks.
week, and I'm married.
You know, time flies when you're having fun. I don't know what to tell you guys.
And I'm married 32 years. The thing with that I'm intrigued about with successful marriages is if you evolving your brain and we said physiologically you're evolving, mentally you're evolving, physically you're evolving. How do you?
Hopefully you're evolving. I want to say I'm a little bit on the dark side today with Nick. I think the majority of people out there when they get married fucking de-evolve, man. Like they're like, I don't have to,
No, I
and
think
they
a lot of
don't
people-
challenge
I
themselves.
think a lot of people
to
get
be-
married because they just give up.
No, but you are changing. So at any time, you know, you're what you like when you get married. Let's say Nick last year when you got married at your age. I imagine when you get to 10 years later, let's say call it 50, for example, that your tastes in things that you enjoy to eat, cars, dress, everything is going to change, right? Now, and the same with Trevor. How do you? And I struggle with that idea. How do you continue to keep the relationship, that partnership? Because you both are changing
sex.
over time. How do you keep it going?
Really, so in the just boiled down, the redux version of a marriage, I think it's somebody that you can watch movies with, eat food, and have sex with. And as long as all that's groovy, both of you are going to change. And if somebody doesn't, if one of the parties doesn't piss the other one off with any changes, that's like the recipe for success.
And I think you're just trying to find somebody that you can stand to be around that you're also sexually attracted to.
Yeah.
To try and, give yourself a small candlelight in the eternal darkness of our existence.
So what about the idea that sex starts to become less and less important during marriage? There's the anecdote.
It's not less important. I read a deal. Obviously, it's been a while. Would have no idea how to vet the article, but something to the effect of data collection, and the older you get, the less you have sex, but the more meaningful it is.
Okay.
So you're not fucking like rabbits
I don't
anymore.
believe that at all.
But like you have. People get busier, at least if you're challenging yourself to evolve, you're getting busier and you're doing more things. And yeah,
I think it's a matter of escalating sexual promiscuity with your partner. And that reminds me.
role playing?
Well, I mean, I was thinking about, for some reason this morning, I was thinking about autoerotic asphyxiation. Are you familiar with that?
Why were you thinking of it?
I don't know. It just popped in my head.
Were you going to test it out?
No, I was not. I mean, I'm not saying no.
Is it still autoerotic if somebody's standing next to you?
I don't know. Just watch, like it heightens it if somebody's watching. Well, the thing is, if somebody's watching you, then it takes away the threat of actually dying because that person could jump in and save you.
I think once you cross the
Are you
cusp,
familiar,
you're fucking
PR,
done.
with even what we're talking about?
I want to ask some questions about it though.
Sure.
Please.
Is because I was trying to, check it on the internet, but for some reason the service was down while I was trying to do it.
Mercury's in
So here's the thing:
retrograde.
is would you be watching porn trying to stimulate yourself
Sometimes.
be part of autoerotic?
What autoerotic asphyxiation is it's somebody who's using some implementation to restrict their airways
Cut off the oxygen to your
to the
brain.
point that your oxygen's cut off at the same time that you're about to have an orgasm. So
Right.
to heighten that experience.
Right.
There have been famous people who have died doing, and a lot of people
But
have
a
died
lot of
doing
people
it.
have died.
Famous people have died. Specifically, the biggest one I could find just in my search was David Carradine. He played Bill in Kill Bill, the Kill Bill movies. He died jerking off,
The
like
dude,
choking
the
himself.
dude from NXS.
Yeah, dude from NXS, Michael.
So I have a theory on this that
Michael.
I have. So on the opposite end of this, suicide. I've had a lot of friends that have committed suicide, and when I go to ask how they did it, because I'm morbidly curious, when they say that they hung themselves, I immediately go, they didn't commit
Oh,
suicide.
jeez.
It's a cover up for autoerotic asphyxiation.
I mean, I've had friends who killed themselves, and none of them hung themselves. That's intense.
That isn't. That's why I don't believe it. Like they were
Hanging
probably
yourself's fucking pretty intense. But I mean, also the honor killing in Japan, just killing yourself with your own fucking samurai sword. That's some intense shit too.
I think that's easier than hanging yourself.
I don't know about that.
So where's the orgasm and the hanging yourself? I'm trying to work. Does that
As
can
you
imagine-
as you orgasm, so for the record, this
You
is
haven't tried it.
secondhand shit, and I only know it from movies and news articles. I don't have the nuts to fucking. I don't want to try this
okay.
out.
So you say that did you do the fucking knockout game when you were in
No,
high school?
never did.
I did it.
I know
Where-
a chick who did it. She fucking
Died.
where you make yourself pass out.
Yeah.
Chick who did it, she passed out, and I was like across the playground. This wasn't even in high school. This was like fucking
Yeah. It was probably
early
middle
grade
that
school.
people were doing it.
Saw her drop. She woke up crying. They hauled her ass off, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to play that game.
Yeah, I mean, it's not fun. But that's basically what you're doing is like if you restrict the air to your brain at the right moment, it is going to cause a fucking physiological difference. And people who do that are looking for something that's different, that heightens the experience. There's fear involved, which heightens the experience.
Trust. There's an adrenaline rush.
Yeah,
and
like,
trusting.
there's-
Well, I guess the trust part, I've done it to some chicks.
I mean, yeah, me too.
So that's not autoerotic, but it's
not
it's
autoerotic,
doing the-
but it's
doing the-
erotic
It's doing the
asphyxiation.
the cutting off the circulation.
My wife told me that they talk about that on her podcast. That that's like a big up and coming fetish that a lot
For
of
chicks?
women have. Yeah, chicks have where they want to be choked. Weird to me. I feel like
I think the
that's-
choking thing's always been around.
I mean, I think that's more of a reflection. I don't think women are sitting there like I want to be choked. I think they think men want to choke them, and then that makes them want to do it.
we kind of do.
I mean, I don't know. I've never really been like, oof, wow, that girl has a nice ass. I really want to choke her out. Like, it's never been the thought that came through my head. I mean, if she wanted me to do it, I'd do it.
I think it introduces a different level of energy. I feel like over my lifespan, I've been a student of energy, and it is. So let me.
Does it
let me
turn
throw
you on
this-
to have
No, not
someone's
really.
life force in your hands
Not really.
like that?
Not
All right.
really.
Fair.
I think that it could be.
what I would like to throw out there is like, so a bud of mine he's into wrestling. He was a college wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And when we go on benders, inevitably at the end of the night we'd wrestle, and there's a different energy that's introduced when it's not like a fight or flight thing. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Oh, yeah.
Like, so we're buds, and we know at the end of this wrestling match we're still going to be buds, but you still are using your energy to the utmost to pin or have the other guy tap out, and then walk away as
You
friends.
also know you're safe.
Right?
It's like a female rape fantasy.
Which is where that's where I'm going is when you take it back to sex, it's it's
Or a
not
male
this it's
rape
not this
fantasy.
romantic endeavor anymore. It's you're introducing this like physical, like I'm gonna fucking choke you.
But I think that we could look into that and talk about that because I think that's an interesting topic. If you're able to break that apart, compartmentalize.
Yeah.
If you're able to with your partner have things like that maybe one of you are into separate from like, okay, but we're on vacation. We're going to make love.
Yeah.
Versus sometimes it's going to be like, yeah, wear a ski mask and pretend like, here's the safe word is bananas. And you're going to run in and fucking rape, quote unquote, rape me. If I say bananas, we're stopping. But until then, it gives you a heightened level, little fear, but at the same time knowing that if it needs to stop, it stops.
Yeah.
Well, the idea there would it not be testing your control? Normally, in a relationship where the two
I
of you
don't
know
think
each other really
no.
well.
I disagree with that.
There's the idea that everything is controlled. So even when you're having sex with your partner,
You said testing your control.
Yeah.
I think that's against what we're saying. Like, if you feel like you have to test the control of your partner, you're not trusting them to stop if you say bananas.
No, so here's what I'm saying. The reason why you want to go with the asphyxiation part of it is that normally in a relationship that's an advanced relationship like a marriage, or in a girlfriend boyfriend that've been together a long time, everything is safe. It's all consensual. You get into bed together, you're gonna fall asleep, you have sex, and that's the end of it, right?
After you fall asleep?
And so the idea of let's take it to the almost to the nth degree is saying I'm gonna go at 100 miles an hour and I'm gonna go to the wall. The challenge is there's such a fine line between stopping at the wall.
That's what we're saying. I don't think that a healthy relationship would be doing it if there is even a question of that ability to have that level of self-control. Now, the payoff that you have is knowing and trusting your partner has that level of self-control. Is there really any fear? Like, that would be my issue would be if I was into some fucking crazy shit where I'm like, I want to be choked until the point where I'm about to die and then let go. If I trust my partner to do it right, there's no real heightened excitement for me because I know it's going to end well. The things that get you fired up are the things where there's actual real danger. So, it's like playing fucking laser tag versus going around the OK Corral with actual guns. Like, there's a different experience there.
The issue that I have in everything, not just relating to sex, is like it's going to be 100%. So, like, I rarely joke with people, like especially strangers, because my jokes are fucking like kill shots.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to receive. Like, I go for the fucking gullet, and I'm imagining right now like taking that into a sexual place of doing some sort of like rape fantasy, or mine's fucking all the way and would be scary as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, it would be, if I were to engage in anything like that, it'd be more like a play. It'd be more like,
I couldn't take
we're
it.
just doing
I would
it for
laugh
fun.
through the whole thing.
I mean,
'cause
I'm
take it
sure that a lot of people
seriously.
do. I'm sure that a lot of people, like especially when they first start doing weird role play, I'm sure there's a lot of laughter. I think maybe that's part of it, the bonding experience.
What do you imagine? Do you role play? Have you role played? And if so, or if you ever would, what would the characters be? What would your get? What, like, shooting from the hip?
Oh man, I mean, well, so to answer the first question, have I ever? Not really. I mean, there's been some fucking weird nights in my life. Like, I'll tell you that.
That's a broad stroke.
Some weird nights. If I were to pick one, I don't know, maybe, like I'm a Publix checkout guy, and she's like, well, hey, do you paper or plastic?
Double bag it?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you need me to double bag it? Is just one that I can think of off the top of my head. But what about you, PR? You got into any role play?
No role play. I can't say role play. Yeah. I think the idea, though, and I'm probably being very stereotypical with it, is the idea of reaching an orgasm with the idea of there being death potentially. To me, sounds.
God, we should fucking isolate that sentence. Like, for some reason, first and foremost, when Trevor and I are like, yeah, man, you have a fucking orgasm, you come, whatever. It sounds normal. When you say it, it's kind of it creeps me out a little bit.
You got a little Buffalo
it's
Bill.
A little fucking Buffalo Bill. It's a little fucking puts the lotion on its skin. And for you to do that sentence that you just did,
I'd venture to guess that he's probably the freakiest out of all of
no
us.
Question about it.
But is very reserved about communicating.
Like, PR is the kind that you could on one hand be the leader of a nonprofit that helps poverty-stricken people with diseases, but it could also have
of a cult.
a bunch of bodies in his basement of
Yes.
people who didn't remember the safe word in time.
There you go. You know me really well. You got to come check my basement out.
You look like you're freaking out right now. You're starting to sweat at your forehead. I think I may have figured you
that
out.
basement of mine. But
DJ Jeffrey Dahmer.
Dude, you stole it right out of
Were
my
you going to say
mouth.
Dahmer?
Yes.
So
God damn, good call, bro.
you know, I watched that. I
Wow.
I think that's an incredible show, though. That guy was just
I didn't see it.
genius.
I didn't
Right?
see it.
Wow.
You have a lot of you look up to his work there, PR.
I mean, it was pretty, for that longer period to have done what he did.
Read a blurb the other day.
I mean, eating people, bro. It's cool as shit, I guess, right?
Read a deal the other day that he didn't eat people, or he did, but he preferred people that didn't have tattoos because tattoos made them taste funny. I'm in the clear.
There you are safe. I have one. I'm gonna get a second one soon, so maybe the other side of the body would still taste luscious.
Yeah.
So, with all of this talk of sex, where does porn fit in all of this?
I mean,
What do you mean?
So, the idea that, I've been kind of reading a lot about the amount of porn that is consumed right now. The internet obviously was just a freeway to porn, and that seems to be one of the largest consumers of the internet.
well, you can't even watch porn in Florida anymore.
Oh, can't you?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Well, I mean, I have a VPN. I bought a VPN out of Canada so that I can watch
specifically
whatever the fuck I want.
because of the ban on porn?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Which VPN?
Nord,
Okay.
N-O-R-D, NordVPN.
Interesting.
It's like $4 a month, but it connects straight to Canada, and I can watch whatever I want.
I've been using VPNs for years for
mean,
websites.
You're an
and-
ultra cautious guy.
No, it's not. I don't care about that. It's more for checking my own website, my own business website,
fair.
so that it's not tracking. It doesn't know that the owner of the website
Gotcha.
is checking out the website. I can view it from other eyeballs.
Well, yeah, I mean, when I was in Japan, I wanted to watch fucking Netflix. That was the first time I ever even knew what a VPN was. And then coincidentally, fucking 2 weeks later, Florida, it's impossible to watch porn. And I was like, oh, I already have this VPN. I'll just keep I had already registered for it because I was watching Netflix in Japan. So I was like, I'll just keep this VPN, and there you go.
Why did you have to have the
Easy peasy.
VPN for Netflix in Japan?
So they have Netflix in Japan, but you can't watch the same shit. Like, they have very weird licensing agreements. So the easiest way to do it on your device is just have a VPN set to wherever you want to be, and then you can watch Netflix like you're at home.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, like I said, I had paid for it with the idea I'll just get rid of it when I leave Japan. But then I read an article because, like many red-blooded American men, immediately when we heard that the porn was going away, you Google, how do I still watch porn in Florida? And they said VPN's all you got to do.
I don't know the exact statistic, but VPN sales shot up with like 150% fucking kind of deal. Like
Would it surprise
within
you
like
that
6 hours?
Would it
after
surprise you that a large percentage of legislators in Florida own stock in VPN companies?
Really?
No, I'm just making that up, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Makes sense.
So normal people like you guys sexually.
Well,
I don't know if I'm normal.
Easy, not
careful,
normal.
careful
at all.
throwing that term around.
And don't try to fucking denormalize me by calling me normal.
Okay,
by the way, PR.
so let me just say that you do have normal relationships. It appears that porn has become something that a lot of people are claiming, admitting to being addicts, and the result of it is also that they are increasingly finding porn to be more satisfying than the actual act of having
Well, these
sex.
are two different things, and I would love to hear. I have a feeling Trevor's is ready to discuss whether he thinks porn is addictive or not.
Why me?
Because
I'm a master
feel
of,
it coming off of you.
addiction.
No, because it's the type of thing that I would expect you to go, yeah, people aren't fucking addicted to porn. They just don't know how to live their lives and fucking...
No, people are. But it's not necessarily porn. It's the same thing. So we've had this conversation just hanging out over boozy coffees about addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't even really identify a percentage, but I think everybody has some sort of an addictive personality, and then they just choose their poison.
So they're on... So what you're saying is that human beings are on an addictive spectrum.
Yes,
one way or the other.
and a disciplined, what we would label as a disciplined, respectful, wholesome individual has taken those addictions and channeled it into something that society deems as healthy, like working out or running or artwork. And then you have, which I think the majority of at least U.S. citizens are, big fucking fat pieces of shit
Food.
that
Yeah.
that eat to satisfy this addiction or jerk off to porn. It's not porn. It's the chemicals in your body that are created, and then you're like, all right, this is an easy fix. So to that point, yeah, like I've dipped in and out of virtually every addiction known to man.
So
Like overly working out, overly drinking, overly, like, especially when I was going through puberty, like fucking porn. Just experiencing everything that this physical manifestation has as far as like a dopamine rush.
well, you say addiction. I say you're seeking relief from the misery of existence. Like we are all living.
It's a
this
distraction.
fucking terrible fucking thing, and you find a distraction.
It's
You're
a
like,
distraction.
oh man, you know what? I'm gonna jerk off with a belt around my neck, and for the next fucking 45 seconds, I'm gonna forget how terrible my spouse is, how terrible my job is, how terrible my fucking leg hurts. Like
It's an active form of meditation. So in like if you do true meditation, you're sitting there and you're consciously saying, I'm not going to think about anything that isn't in this moment right now, which is everything you've aforementioned. I just got overwhelmed with my train of thought.
I mean, when I'm mediating, when I'm meditating, I've done it a couple of times in my life, and a couple of times I thought I was getting close to actually like some sort of breakthrough in meditation where my breathing is like fucking slowed to almost nothing. I feel like my metabolic rate's nothing. But the problem is that it's always like I'm getting into the zone. I'm like, oh, my fucking toe hurts. And then I'm like, oh, my fucking earlobe hurts. My stomach is kind of not right. Wait a minute, I need to adjust. And then if you ever do finally adjust, then the thoughts get flooded into your brain about the fucking bullshit.
That's the
going
practice. Is you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Like if your back starts itching, you're supposed to identify. So I'm trying to remember these terms. It's been a while, but like you label. And you can apply this to life, so you don't react. The idea is to separate yourself from reaction, which has to do with ego and all this other fucking host of psychological crap. You say, all right, my back itches. I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm going to live through this moment of my back itching, understand it, and work with it. And then at a certain point, the itch goes away, and you're like, oh, I didn't have to move. I didn't have to break my train of thought. And that's living in this moment right now.
Oh.
Well, you experience it. You would experience it.
Bodhisattva, bro.
You would experience it regularly, Nick, when you go for a run. There's a moment when you start running, you're feeling great. Then you find it to be complete and absolute exertion where you're hyperventilating and you're not enjoying the run, but you push through. There's no ways you have completed 5 miles.
Dude, mine's not that. Mine is you're underestimating my relationship with vanity. I am running, and I run harder because I want to be thin and good looking. That's why I'm doing it. And the whole time I'm going through the misery of it, knowing it's going to make me look better. That's what pushes me through it.
But the experience initially is, for the first minute or two, is pretty good.
Not for me. It's fucking terrible. I don't start enjoying a run at all until I've gotten to about 2 miles. The first 2 miles are me trying to decide whether I'm going to stop or keep going.
Yes. But there's a point where you absolutely want to stop because it's just too hard on you. But that's the point of meditation, where you actually push through it. You go through that, all of those distractions, the back hurting, the toe twitching, your mind thinking about a range of things, you push through it, and then you get into this really meditative state.
I'm sure people, if anybody's listening who's really trained in meditation, they're like fucking banging their heads against the wall right now. It's rad, though. Makes me laugh.
It is very good exercise of the mind. I think it is profound when you have experienced it.
I mean, I've read the same papers you guys have. It's supposedly really, really fucking good for you. Like, it's really good for your brain, which then in turn is really good for your body. I mean, it sounds cool to me.
But it's not medication, though. You know, it's not taking an antibiotic. It's actually taking.
Stop with this fucking bullshit.
I disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree with the garbage that's spilling out of your mouth right now.
Like, come on. You guys have this fucking anti-medication shit. Medicine's like saved our fucking civilization.
No, I'm not anti. I take antibiotics. The minute I have anything that I feel. What I'm saying though is that it's the idea of meditation is not It's not an antibiotic. It's like you take a lot of vitamins, right? You take a lot of it, right?
Vitamins, yes, I take a lot
because you and because you understand the benefits of it. But you do know that when you get really sick, that all it does is it helps.
I don't get really sick,
but it's not gonna. You're still gonna have to go to the doctor. You're still gonna have to take
stomach virus.
You're still gonna have to take medication, and that's the idea of meditation. But where were we going with porn?
Some people are addicted.
You were going somewhere with porn.
Some people are. We're talking about addiction.
Well, when you say addiction, yes, there are certain things that are going to cause a chemical reaction. What I think the doorway to these addictions are people's lack of grasping how fucking terrible their existence is. Like they think because all of the TV shows and all the fucking Hallmark cards, everything says life is so great, life is good, enjoy life, and these people don't. They don't fucking face the fact that they're living through this misery, and then something comes along, Oxycontin, it's all the pain's fucking gone, man. Or alcohol, when I'm drunk, it doesn't fucking hurt, which is true. But where you draw a line is you go, I can drink alcohol responsibly, enjoy those times, know that I'm coming back to misery and pain, but embrace that as well. Because if you try to always run from that misery and pain, that's when you're stuck in a fucking addiction to hookers, to fucking blow, to exercising, to food, whatever it is that is your thing that helps you live through this life. If you can't grasp that the majority of it is fucking terrible and you try to run from it all the time, that's when you get in trouble, in my opinion.
I mean, I would say that as just the biggest load of shite I've heard. But it's par for the course, and the reality is that I have to refute a lot of what you said, because life, you correct at one point, is that life is tough, right? It is not easy, right? But there are certain mechanisms. So the idea that we're using porn as a way of easily satisfying all our desires is a problem. There's a lot of people. There's a huge number of people that are using porn right now.
So a guy is scientifically supposed to ejaculate like 21 times a month to not have like prostate cancer.
More than
this is a multi-layered fucking deal. We should not, like, so marriage is a construct. It is a group decision throughout, more than my lifetime to create this institution. We are built to reproduce. So like that's it.
I do have a small counter argument to that. And you guys know my position on fucking marriage. I'm not sitting here the marriage guy. What I do have a counter argument to that. There is an argument that we evolved monogamous. That's a Freudian slip.
Monotonous as Freudian, yeah.
Yeah. Monogamous that we evolved monogamous relationships because of the risk of STDs.
That's fine.
There is an argument for that. So when you say like,
well, that and don't go fuck the ostrich that's at the edge of town.
Yeah, I mean, that's like that we have, as a culture, evolved the idea of a monogamous relationship to avoid the spread of bacteria.
VD.
So anyway, carry on. I just wanted to jump in and say I tend to agree with you that on its face it makes no sense. If the only biological reason we're here is to reproduce, just like any other fucking organism.
Yeah, yes.
Like, there is no reason, there is no rhyme, there's no fucking why, PR. Like, we're not given a scroll that tells us why we're fucking here, and we're never going to come to some enlightened place where you know that our existence mattered, because it fucking doesn't.
I think that might happen at death, but you don't believe in anything
there's
after
fucking
death, so.
darkness, and you become back into the circle, fucking worm food. But the only thing that I can tell you that it appears to have any actual evidence as to why we exist is just to reproduce. So it would make sense that multiple partners would be the way we evolved. But that's not the fucking way we evolved. Why is that? Culturally, I think it has something to do with everybody sitting around going, shit, we're wiping ourselves out with fucking syphilis and shit. Like, we got to stop. Pick one, and that's your person.
man, like this kid, I could do a college dissertation on this shit, man. Like,
Well, dissert.
we're talking.
bro.
Well,
Dissert me.
so let's just say marriage is this false created institution. We're just supposed to reproduce. It's multi-layered. You can go back and say, like, even more so, it's not just VD, it's control. So psychological ego gets in the way and says, I want to control this other human being, which is the way it has been through it. Like, masculine has dominated feminine and throughout all of time.
There have been a couple of cultures that it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, but percentage-wise,
Oh, of course.
I'll take that
Of course.
ratio
Of course.
or over Vegas
But
odds.
you can't overlook the fact that there have been civilizations that operate the opposite way. Where
They're not around anymore, though.
No, they're not. Well, I think there may be. I really can't say. But like the point I'm making is that the fact that there's any outliers tells me that most likely it all became masculine because at that time we're the strong ones who go fucking kill and bring food or whatever the fuck while women are back at home. Meanwhile, there were cultures that for whatever reason it was of an advantage that the feminine took over and not the masculine.
Yeah.
So if there are outliers, then you can't say it's just genetically that's human beings. It is cultural, is my point. We created the culture to fit the way that it has happened, not hereditary.
But okay, well and good. If you tie this back to porn and porn addiction, we are doing something that is absolutely against our nature, and so then you have a whole nother set of issues of. Why are you shaking your head?
I don't agree that it's against your nature at all. Masturbate. I think it's
No. Porn. It's in our nature to reproduce.
Yes.
You take reproduction away,
Mm-hmm.
which I believe that men are supposed to reproduce. The whole point is to get my seed into as many women as possible, so that my evolutionary DNA kicks the shit out of yours at a primal level.
That may be where we're fucking crossing streams, right? Because
and then to say, okay, I'm going to be like, I've been raised to be monogamous. You're going against this nature, and then you have this backlash of secretive. I'm going to go jerk off to porn and become porn addicted behind closed doors.
But that's because you're not our fucking instinct is not find a partner and plant your seed. Our instinct is to ejaculate. And it happens to be the best form of that throughout time.
I think it is to spread your seed.
Yeah, well, I think it's it's even more baser than that. I think it's to ejaculate.
Yeah, so you don't need.
It's like to eat. Like it's not to go have a 5-course meal. Your fucking instinct is to put food in your gullet. And if you're fucking hungry enough, you eat barks off trees and other human beings. If our fucking instinct is not have sex, like having a sex with a woman is a means to that end, but ejaculation is the fucking instinct that we have. Like, I remember the first time I jerked, there wasn't porn. Like, I had seen Playboys. I just instinctually knew what to fucking do.
Yeah.
Like, it was just in my brain. Like, I knew what to do.
So the point I want to make, though, about being addicted to porn and having to ejaculate is you don't need porn for ejaculation, right? You ejaculate without necessarily having it.
It's so much more fun with
You're
porn.
getting to my point. Like,
but the idea that we have in our society today,
yes,
is this instant gratification society,
absolutely,
right? So the idea, it's essentially McDonald's that we are doing, right? It's the satisfaction without the nutrition. There is no benefit to you ejaculating, right? We agreeing that there's a reason why we are, as men here, is to procreate. We know that's our primal instinct, is to procreate, right? But the idea that we do so many things in this modern day and age, and one of it is the fact that we are becoming increasingly, we are completely instant gratification. We don't want to put in any pain. So the kind of routine that Trevor is on at the moment, not a lot of people can do that because we are just damn lazy. We just don't have the levels of discipline in order to be able to do that. The stuff that you've chosen to, your lifestyle over the last 3 months.
Yeah.
Because that's difficult. That's extreme. I was going to use profanity, but I won't.
Why the hell not? Why the fuck not?
But what I want to say is
you.
that. But what I want to say is that porn is in exactly the kind of zone that we're in at the moment, which is let's find instant gratification. The problem that with being addicted to porn, which is where I want to go to with it, which is where we started with the marriage thing, is that relationships are hard work, right? To get into a relationship and then to make that decision to then get married is incredibly challenging. And what we're finding is that men increasingly, because of all the instant gratification we have available to us, are not looking for that kind of commitment.
And the reason they're not, that you're making the point that I was making. The reason that there is a concern here is because they are finding methods through porn and technology to live out the instinct that they have. And that's what I was saying. The instinct is not find a partner and procreate. The instinct is to ejaculate.
Yes.
And for most of time, it was like, okay, well, I'm going to jerk off. But also you have this instinct of finding whoever you find attractive. And then you rub up against them and you figure it out. And that's what you do. However, that's not where we're at. Technology's outpaced our evolution, where we have all these fucking options at our fingertips, where everybody goes to their base instinct, which is just ejaculation.
Which isn't necessarily a good thing. It's like going to
I don't think it's good. I'm not arguing that
McDonald's. So I want to put a
good.
interesting tidbit in here. I want to say 3 times in my life I have done a 40-day no sexual fast. And it's very fucking interesting.
So no ejaculation at all.
Nothing. No sex. No, and kind of to the point of like not even checking babes out. You know, like it's 40 days is really hard to do. So the idea behind this is,
speak for yourself, but maybe I'm giving it away.
Oh, jeez, Pierre. God damn.
What?
He was going to say, speak for yourself, implying that it's easy for him to go 40 days without ejaculating, thereby implying that he's gone 40 days without ejaculating.
So the idea behind this is that people are addicted to this and it's wasting creative energy. So orgasm, especially with a partner, is to create life, which is create life. It's the greatest creation.
Gross. Like if that was what sex was for me, I would never have sex. The fact the act of creating a life is so unsexual to me. It makes me want to fucking throw up.
You don't want to have kids, but
I
it
know,
is,
but
without a doubt. Like if you have previously said that our point is to reproduce, it is the greatest act of creation. So
I have transcended.
The idea behind this is that it is creative energy, and people that are sex addicts are not channeling their creative energy in the appropriate ways. They should, if they have the urge to have sex, you need to go fucking learn something new, like a language or paint a picture.
It's the same as Oxycontin. It's a miswire. It's a miswiring. It's a misfeed. Like
no, it's not a miswiring.
Something they like.
It's fucking a lazy asshole getting the quick fix instead of doing something to help society and propel us into a new evolution.
They live through this fucking misery that their life is. They see that sex makes it better. They had real, actual, constructive sex at a normal frequency and rate, but they noticed that when they did, it was great. Then shit starts to fall apart in their life. Small bit by small bit, they're more often masturbating, which keeps giving them the dopamine push that lets them fucking offset the misery. And before you know it, you're fucking hooked. Yeah. It's just the same as Oxycontin or fucking cocaine.
But that's any addiction, right? It's the same with alcohol. You don't set out to become an alcoholic.
But you're not an alcoholic because you're lazy and you don't have fucking. You're like, I need a drink. I'm going to put together a puzzle instead.
I disagree with that. In the last 3 months, I've completely change. And so when we talk about dry January, dry June,
yes,
you say you get more things done in a week than you do like most of the year.
I do.
You're rechanneling creative energy.
January and June, I do because it's
when we go out.
I am because I'm bored.
When we go out and get hammered, we're taking all of the creative energy for the day and putting it into this social moment of drinking and hanging out with friends, and that's a huge energy dump.
But I would say that
if you save that energy, and so imagine saving sex. The older you get, the more mature and responsible you get, and the less as far as data is concerned, the less you have sex and the more meaningful it is.
Yeah, but I would say that in those instances that you're referencing, which is you and Nick having a drink, I would say it's not addiction.
You make it sound so docile.
No, but it's not.
It's not. It's not a drink.
PR's coming in with his fucking. So everybody playing shot game at home, be ready.
Yeah.
This is PR trying to tell Trevor he needs a drink.
No.
Yes.
I'm not.
That's what
I'm
you're
not.
doing right now. Go
I'm
ahead,
saying
continue.
that the reason, what I'm referencing is people that are addicts, right? Which is a serious issue. There are way too many people that have gambling addictions, alcoholism addictions, and now increasingly porn addictions.
Gambling is a crazy addiction.
Gambling is, I think,
They're addicted.
We could make
they're addicted
fucking-
to the rush of losing.
we could make fucking
it's not,
argument
It's not
that
the actual.
gambling is the
my.
worst one.
Yes, that is.
In my
Gambling is an insane. Oh man,
it's this fucking thing where they actually prefer to lose than to not play.
But
Jesus.
but here's the issue, right? With porn versus gambling, and
at least in porn you win.
At least in porn you get to jerk. You get to finish.
Is that people don't do it in public and they don't admit to it, right?
And gambling you do in front of everybody.
You do gambling is typically done.
Fair.
It's in public, and alcoholism. We have become a society where you can actually talk about it in public, whereas being a porn addict, it's shameful. So nobody is talking about, like we've talked. Probably Trevor has jokingly sent out a text on a Saturday night to say, "Let's talk about sex," right?
Yeah.
On too many occasions. And
I wasn't joking about that.
The idea, though, no, I mean you say it, and then we completely discount it, right?
It's manifested.
But the
I mean, I want to take a break and manifest right now.
The idea, though, is that sex as a society is something that we feel we don't talk about, and the same with porn, right? Nobody admits it, but there's a increasingly the challenge though with people that are addicted to porn, not talking about it, not seeking any treatment for it, is that they are struggling with the idea of having a relationship. So if you go to a pub, for example.
I am perfectly fine with porn addicts being out there and existing and only jerking off to porn, because that means they're not fucking reproducing.
I mean, I gotta tell you.
and making retarded babies.
I mean, I got to tell you, like, out of all of them, it is terrible, and it probably has a very negative impact on their life, but nobody is robbing a fucking... These are cases that I've had. Nobody is robbing a Family Dollar with a fucking gun that they found to go watch porn and jerk off.
Yeah, I get that, but in order for you to have a normal functioning society, for people like me, for example,
What you got?
Yeah, so I was just kind of really quickly thinking about like how negative it could be. Funny enough, a chick that I was engaged to way back, I got in trouble a lot for shit that I didn't do. Have you ever had a chick that like has a bad dream about you and then you wake up and you're in trouble?
Yeah.
This is one of these chicks. So one of her best friend's husbands got busted dumping shit tons of money into it's pre. What do you always talk about, Wizard of Ed? The OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
Meet me. Yeah.
yeah,
So it was pre that, but this guy was just fucking dumping money to whatever service and chewed up their bank accounts.
Fair enough.
And the family just like, and that's bad.
Or
that's
massage
like,
parlors.
That's like robbing.
That's not jerking
That's
off.
like robbing a bank and get like,
But
that is the extreme.
there are
of
people that-
danger porn.
I've known people who have like had problems with massage parlors or prostitutes and have fucking lost everything.
I wouldn't even. I would like to say for the record, I wasn't even friends with this guy. I only had to hang out with him when we
Don't
went
worry
on
about
double
it, dude.
dates. And I got in so much trouble that I was like, "Fuck that guy and fuck everybody who looks like that guy."
I mean, he'll fuck himself. Don't worry. Apparently.
Well, you fucked up his
yeah.
family.
There's on the OnlyFans. I looked at this a few weeks ago. There's like 6.3 million creators. Okay. A lot of them are doing all of them are doing porn, right? In the OnlyFans.
Is anybody on OnlyFans
PR.
doing anything other than sexual stuff? Like, do people pay for like?
Making peanut brittle or putting
Yeah,
together
There
Legos.
are very few podcasts that have their exclusive content behind the paywall, but those are just outliers.
So PR brings up a good, like, if we're getting into the nitty gritty of this, I mean, let's talk about it.
I want to start an OnlyFans
Fucking-
and it be like cooking.
Porn, the I'm exposed to is completely free. I have never paid. Well, so I mean,
You're
I've
paying
bought
it by doing the VPN. You're paying for porn.
Fair, but I'm not paying the porn providers. And before I had to do VPN because of the fucking draconian rules in Florida.
What if
it was
what
free.
if it wasn't the politicians that own the VPNs, but the porn providers have stock in VPN?
I mean, could be, but then they would be trying to pass the laws in every other state. They only have like a handful of states that require this.
It's a
So
way.
that
It's
doesn't
a way
make
to
any
get
sense.
money for the people like you that aren't paying for porn.
I mean, I bought it to be able to watch TV outside of my country. It's worth the fucking money.
Whatever
to
makes
watch
you feel better.
House. But anyway, what I was saying is that I have never paid a porn, like other than buying a Playboy magazine, which is paying money for pornography,
Strippers.
or renting, or being at a strip club.
Yeah.
But like actually going online for a porn video, I've never paid $1.
Yeah.
There is a difference to me.
I paid one time.
I
I
it was
signed
some
up for
fetish shit, wasn't it?
No. It was just normal shit.
It was just weird shit.
I
you
wanted
to
to see if the I wanted to see if the production value was better.
see? God.
No, I'm serious. So like free
I mean,
free porn since day one.
Dude, I appreciate my porn to have
And-
better levels of production value.
and I
as
wanted
well.
and I signed up. It's one of the major sites.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's got to be better than this shit that I'm watching. And I, in all honesty, I'm looking for. So quickly, I think porn is okay when they start getting into stepbrother, stepsister, mom, son,
Fucking so
like
stupid.
it's
How is
fucking
that such
weird.
a thing?
I want to see romantic couples having sex. I don't want all the weird psychological shit come in.
I don't
Like, so I signed up for a regular service, and within a month, I'm like, this is fucking boring.
But
I
you
do
know,
like weird shit. I like it. I mean, dude, do you really want to talk more about the philosophy of this shit,
no,
or do you want to get into like the
what
shit
I'm-
that is
what I-
entertaining?
The point on the porn though,
Fine.
before we wrap
we'll
up.
keep doing philosophy.
No,
Go ahead.
it's not the philosophy. Is that you do know that like with Alo, which is the owner of a lot of these, the Pornhub and the whole lot, right? They're making billions of dollars on this. There are algorithms like the way they have people on TikTok, like the way they have you on Facebook and Instagram and all of that. These guys are running algorithms to hook you. The idea is not for you to be an occasional.
Well, they need to do a better
Visitor.
job with full.
Yeah,
bush.
that's dumb.
And
That's
no,
not a good
but,
point.
But the point is that we have a significant number of men.
Nobody has to fucking hook you, bro. Pornography has been around. There are cave drawings of fucking tits.
The very
like,
first-
Give me a fucking break.
No, I
They're
understand.
not creating algorithms. Your phone's not listening to you about your fucking porn preferences, PR. It's not. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's been around for tens of thousands of years.
The difficulty that is with my dad's Playboy magazine toilet was difficult for there to run an algorithm. The reality is that with all the technology we have right now, the idea is to hook you. That's what they're trying to do, right?
That's what everybody like.
That's what everyone's trying to do.
You're trying to get people to buy auto insurance.
No, you're
I'm trying
saying,
to get,
and you're right.
I'm trying to get
Trevor,
people to
you're
come
right.
in for a haircut.
You're
like,
saying hook,
yeah.
like there's some nefarious fucking conspiracy by
Yes.
the owner of Allo to get you to watch porn. All they're doing is making a better product to get you to invest in that product. It's business. It's not a fucking conspiracy of algorithms.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
it's not.
Well, the idea there is that it's trying to give you a dopamine rush, which is trying to satisfy you. With
don't
normal
have to
people,
try.
and I would have said you, but normal people like me would prefer to find sex.
Here
right?
it comes.
Yeah.
He just dropped the fucking bomb on us. You're trying to say that your proclivities to pornography are not your own fault. They're the fucking owner of Allo created an algorithm that tricked you into watching porn. While he's sitting here willing to accept responsibility for our own fucking terrible decisions.
Yeah. So my terrible decision is always to go to a bar. If I'm wanting to have casual sex, for example, I would be looking to go to a bar
Ooh, where's this going?
to find somebody who's attractive that
the
I can.
drinking age
that
was
I can
18
have-
the last time you were single going to a bar trying to have sex, bro. We were talking about, what are we talking about, the 70s or the 80s?
No, I'm saying at any age, right?
Full
That's
bush
what-
and full
that's what
effect.
we
Hey,
would, that's
ain't
what
nothing wrong with
somebody
that.
like myself
I
would
like-
do. Is I would go to.
I like it shaved.
I would do
a little
what
trim.
I would
at
do
least. Come on.
what normal people would do is to go to a pub, find somebody who's hot, hopefully interact with her. 9 out of 10 times it's going to be a no, go home, and I'm fine with that. No is a good answer, right? The problem with porn is that it's, like I said, it's a McDonald's.
It's a 10 out of 10 times.
It's always.
I mean,
yeah, it's we are losing.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Well,
We are
that's why I'm
losing.
saying that everybody's fucking fat, lazy, and stupid is because they do go to that extent of just
Exactly.
immediate gratification instead of attempting to.
I mean, I think you guys are, as per usual, I think you're being judgmental on the human condition. You're throwing stones at people that really all they're trying to do is fucking exist without the bone-gnawing misery of fucking being here. And they find something, that's what they get into. There is a line that you cannot go across, and it's hard for people not to go across it.
It's time for Mother Licking Funkler Nuggets! Woo, baby!
We got all kinds of shit, man. I got all
Do
kinds.
you?
I've fucking been partying, bro.
Let's go. What do you got?
Okay. Wednesday trivia was fucking great. A very close friend of mine was at trivia. She had to put her dog down unexpectedly, so it was like a very aggressive drinking night, which tends to be fun. Because she was very sad about that, understandably. Thursday was something that we can go ahead and talk about, and then I'll do the rest of my Funkler Nuggets after that because we can discuss this. How about that fucking Hannibal hop, bro?
Oh, it was a great turnout.
Yeah.
Really good weather at the beginning. It misted later, but I think that the idea of coming to an event while in a short sleeve shirt for the first time this season
Yeah.
is enticing. And yeah, we had a good turnout and it was a good party, man.
All right. Well, what'd we do? Where'd we go?
Well, as always, we start at Allstate and Atomic. We hang out from 4 to 5. What's interesting is that the number of people, one is increasing, but they're evolving. There were a good number of new faces, which is wonderful. One person that we know of, I'm pretty sure there were quite a number of new faces, but one person actually found us through the incredible work that the Intuitive Muse does on social media. So what's it called? I Love Hannibal Square is the Instagram homepage. We're always posting the Hannibal Hop, which is every third Thursday. But this guy was there, and Nick, I think you had the initial interaction with him.
I started chatting with him and had a discussion with him, and he said he found the Hannibal Hop through the I Love Hannibal Instagram.
That's either really awesome or he has a lot of bodies in his basement.
I mean, him and PR could go have a cup of coffee and discuss it, I'm sure.
We did, actually.
But I think he just moved into town. He seems to be a young professional. He's a fucking a former member of our armed service,
Yep.
honorably discharged. So
Yep.
I thanked him for his service.
Sounds very normal so far.
Then he now does
Which
home
is a
loans.
red flag.
He was trying to find something, and he came here and fucking hung out. I think that shit, I mean, that's not connected to what we do here at Motherfunkler, but it's connected to the excellent work you guys do as friends of Hannibal Square.
Intuitive Muse
specifically
has
to Intuitive
spearheaded
Muse's
multiple social media projects.
Well, I mean, her social media is excellent and is outreaching and is the reason he came here directly. But the subject matter for her posts come from you guys organizing and putting on such a great event, which this was another great event. And I find it really inspiring that somebody comes cold to something like that, introduces himself, is talking to people, clearly motivated, wants to fucking do business, wants to talk to people. And
looking
and
for
get
easy
involved.
targets.
I mean, I don't think if you're looking for an easy target, you go to a fucking a business event at Hannibal Square. Like, these people are like, people who go to that event are smart. They're business savvy. They're not suckers. If you want suckers, you go to like a fucking nursing home. and
If
try
I
to
was a
fucking-
serial killer, I would seek out Hannibal Square because of Hannibal Lecter or whatever the fuck his name
well, that's
is.
why you're not good at being a serial killer, I guess. Let's ask PR. Where would you go, PR?
Well, the interesting thing is the conversation that this guy initially had with Nick. Nick then introduced him to me, and I agree, he's a wonderful guy.
It's not Nick, it's his next victim.
Outstanding individual. However, let me say that what I do find very, very instructive from what he said is that he's been to a number of these types of kind of hangouts events.
Mm-hmm.
What he found quite different about the Hannibal Hop is that we have no agenda. It is just to hang out. It's just that we were all just, friends, clients, just wanting to have a drink. no agenda, not selling anything to anyone.
Yeah.
And he liked that because
At the end, we're not like, and come check out our timeshare that we have to offer you. Yeah.
Yeah. He's been to a number of these things, but I'm so tickled by Trevor being so tickled.
What's
What's
got?
going on?
What you got?
Also, don't let Nick trick you. It's Hop Hannibal.
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, Hannibal.
Screw that up. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
Look at me discounting all the hard work by you guys. I apologize. The Hop Hannibal. Hop
But
Hannibal.
so once we normally hang out here between 4 and 5 between the Allstate and Atomic Barber, and then we went off to Vignette. We had a great time at Vignette. It was
I
there's
had a
always
great time at Vignette.
yeah. I think sometimes you don't always have a good time at each spot. This time was particularly good.
Dude, Pepe's was great too, man.
Pepe's was wonderful. Yeah.
I mean, we lost the only place we could do Jaeger bombs. I mean, they only had Jaeger 25% of the time they were open, but PAT doesn't exist anymore. So
Fingers crossed, a really great place goes in there.
I am
and-
too,
and
man.
brings
I'm
back some
really
energy
hoping.
to the street.
they can, because you really need an anchor down there that has full liquor and a party atmosphere where we can hit and enjoy a good glass of wine. We can get some apps and a couple tequila shots at Pepe's, and then we can fucking finish it off strong at a place at the bottom. I really do think that's
But yeah, I must say that it was one of the best hops that we had. The weather was fantastic, and obviously always thanks to Nick for everything he does in promoting.
I just like to hang low and to the left,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What are you, a right side guy?
No, I'm a left.
Everybody's a fucking left.
I think it has to do with which hand you jerk off with.
I think-
it starts going the other direction.
That wouldn't make any sense.
No, totally. Like you're right-handed, you push to the left.
You don't use both hands?
When I broke my arm snowboarding, I became ambidextrous very quickly.
No, I do like an Indian burn with both hands at the same time.
An Indian rugby. Is that politically correct anymore?
No,
or
it's
is it-
not, bro. I just don't know the politically correct
Well, we
word
should
for it.
make one up and start using it. But,
All right.
let's keep it Indian rug burn, but
I
not
like it,
but
yeah.
not Native American.
Or like I'm starting a fire.
yeah, Ambi.
I didn't start the
So
fire.
what else do you have on Friday?
I mean,
Oh, you did go out on Thursday night, right?
I did. And we have a whole nother episode in just a minute that we're going to have to talk about a lot more Funkler nuggets, and we're at about an hour.
All right, so with me as always, serial killer victim number 1 and victim number 2.
Well, he's the perpetrator. PR is going to
The
look
guy
at him
with the
smiling. He looks
cellar.
like-
I mean, I've got this underground basement cellar with a lot of wine and a lot of dead bodies.
I had a lot of fun today. We didn't really nail down autoerotic asphyxiation, but it was an entertaining
Well,
conversation.
PR is going to go give it a try. He'll explain to us the lights and colors and sensations. And we can discuss at that point.
Please hit like and subscribe. Send our link to your friends and family. We beg you to send the link.
I know.
Yeah, that's-
serial
yeah.
killer voice.
DJ Jeffrey Dahmer's here with us.
DJ eat a thigh. Nom, 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 nom.
Nick, the Wizard of Ed,
Love you,
Intuitive
bro.
Muse.
See you on the.
What a fun episode.
Yeah, you got that right, man. See you in the promised land.
Yeah. Check out our shit. Bye now.